This is the Barbados Today evening news for Monday, January 15. Thank you for joining us. I am Mary Claire Williams. We begin with news this evening that local and regional Pan-Africanist groups have added their voice to global condemnation of the U.S. President Donald Trump. They declared him persona non grata following allegations that he used derogatory terms to describe immigrants from Haiti and African countries last week. The accusations were leveled following bipartisan talks in Washington on immigration. Trump has since denied the accusations, but in a strongly worded declaration of the people of the Caribbean, the president of the Clement Pate movement, David Commission, said Trump is no longer welcome in the region. He told journalists earlier today that the declaration was submitted to the people and civil society organizations of the Caribbean for their endorsement and adoption last Saturday. According to him, it has since received 200 signatures from 17 nations, including Venezuela.
U.S. President Donald Trump has committed a despicable and unpardonable act of anti-black, anti-African, anti-brown racism that has served to further energize and fortify the vile white supremacy system that the said President Trump has self-consciously sought to champion and lead. We, the sovereign people of the Caribbean, hereby declare to the entire world that we vehemently and unreservedly denounce President Donald Trump and the evil and inhuman white supremacy value system that he represents.
In other news this evening, fresh criticisms from the opposition Barbados Labour Party over government's handling of the sewage problems on the south coast. Last night, opposition leader Mia Mottley reminded the Stuart administration that it was warned 2 years ago that the systems were on the verge of collapse. But she told the BLP's pre-election mass meetings at Rendezvous Christchurch last night that government did not heed advice to invest in maintenance of the systems.
She went on. You are aware that the South Coast sewage treatment plant has been virtually non-functioning for over a year. You can see it on the screen too. As over 90% of the sewage entering the plant is now being diverted from the influent to the effluent pumps. In other words, the plant ain't doing nothing. You have a big strainer and the strainer breakdowns. That's what it meant. And she then went on to tell you that this problem has been going on for over a year. Now I want to ask you, ladies and gentlemen, how in good conscience could a government know this? Written to the chairman of the Water Authority, written to the minister, spoken to by me. But I didn't stop there. On that same day at Foundation School addressing you, the family of the Labour Party, I left Stuart with these words. I am therefore asking the Prime Minister in the interest of all Barbadians to instruct his Minister of Finance on Monday, October 26, 2015 to make the funds available to the Barbados Water Authority.
The St. James Central District Emergency Organization of the Department of Emergency Management says it will be focusing this year on building resilience within communities to natural disasters. The statement from Chairman Selwyn Brooks came at the organization's annual general meeting on the weekend. The DEO will celebrate its 15th anniversary in August this year, and one of the goals going forward is to double its membership. The DEO is also seeking grant funding, which will go towards purchasing new equipment, the establishment of the Emergency Operations Center at Holders Hill, and additional outreach to build resilience among the communities.
As a community to take charge and to have the knowledge and to build the level of resilience in the event for those hazards and the vulnerabilities that encompass our communities. Residents should be informed and have the understanding of the landscape of the Department of Emergency Management's policies and practices, and initiatives that can help communities increase the level of resilience required. We believe that persons need to engage the DOs. There are 30 of us throughout the country, and regardless if some might not be functioning at the required level, it does not mean that the community cannot assist in reactivating and getting on board and getting to understand that landscape that the Department of Emergency Management exposes in their quest to offer us good practices in disaster.
Brooks' statement followed an unusually active hurricane season last year, which saw several Caribbean islands suffering extensive damage from Category 5 hurricanes Irma and Maria. Family and friends, as well as members of the entertainment fraternity, bade farewell to one of their own, Damien Dappa Taylor, today. The 35-year-old was killed in an accident on December 29 along the Errol Barrow section of the ABC Highway near the Bell, St. Michael. He was a DJ and also played the flute in the Ruckatuk Band. The funeral service was held at the Sanctuary Empowerment Center this morning. And delivering words of encouragement to the congregation, Senior Pastor Dr. Marlon Husbands said he was also personally affected by Dappa's death.
Juliet and her family means so much to us at this community. And I take this personal. My wife and I were overseas when the news came. And ever since then, we were praying for them, wondering what they'll be experiencing. So please, I beg your indulgence. When you have a relationship with someone, it's different to just hearing the information about someone that you really didn't know very well.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
Thank you for staying with us. We're back with news from the region. The president of the Guyana Agricultural and General Workers Union is calling on the government in Georgetown to pay workers their full severance package. Last week, government announced it would make part payment to retrenched workers of the troubled industry. We get more in this report from HGP Nightly News.
He said the workers are growing increasingly frustrated now that they are without a job.
There are some that will get more, there are some that will get far less than $1 million, depending upon their years of service and their earning level. But let us go with the $1 million per person. It's not much when you take that they will only get $500,000, even if they want to do an investment to start a small business. It's pretty low. It's pretty low, and as I said, some with not much service could end up with about $200,000, $300,000.
Because of that reality, the union plans to agitate in earnest in the Sugar Belt.
Since this announcement, we had a well-attended protest yesterday in Bobby's, Corriverton. We started out after 7, and by the time we complete the march and the addresses, we finish after 10 a.m. It was well attended, and the workers were all worked up about the payment.
Mr. Chan is not bothered by the fact that the government would have to adjust its 2018 budget allocations to pay the workers. His main concern is that the workers receive their monies on time. He said that the government's posture on this issue is in clear violation of the Trade Unions and Severance Pay Act, which stipulates that severance benefits must be paid one-off and not in parts.
And on the international scene, several people were injured and a residential building in the Belgian city of Antwerp collapsed following an explosion this evening. Police said the incident was not related to terrorism. Antwerp police said 2 adjacent buildings might have also been damaged in what the state broadcaster said was a gas explosion. The country has been on high alert since deadly suicide bombings in 2016 and a wave of Islamist attacks across Europe. That's news this evening. Remember, you can get more on our website, www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We're on Izumi Media in bus terminals and Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also find us on Mix 96.9 FM. I am Marie Claire Williams. Good evening.